Hi everyone, my name is Laura and thanks for joining me for this Winter Cardinal scene that we'll be painting today. Whether you're by yourself and just looking for some quiet paint time or with a group, just welcome and thanks so much for jumping in with me and painting today. So first we're going to go over some supplies that we need. Obviously we need canvas or whatever you really want to paint on. I'm going to be using an 11 by 14 canvas. It's pretty simple and straightforward. What I like about these, they're just easy to hang on the wall or to give as a gift even. I have tracers for you guys. You can certainly draw this one yourself if you want. I'm not going to be doing that because I just really want to get into painting, but the tracers are there as well. There's a couple ways you can get this onto the canvas. I use this transfer paper. I'll just lay it down, put this on top, and then draw over it. As you can see, I have drew over it a few times. If you don't have the transfer paper and you have charcoal, you can literally take a piece of charcoal, rub it all over the back, put it over, and then transfer it on like that. You can also do what's called the grid method. So you can inch out and just draw lines with a ruler down. So you'd have 11 lines down and then 14 lines going horizontal, and then draw the same lines on the canvas and then go through, and then what is in each grid, you can just copy that in. Like I said, you can also freehand this. This is a pretty straightforward one. Little triangle for the head, the belly, tail. So whatever you decide. So that will be that. Of course, some clean water. I just use a paper cup. Nothing is fancy here. For the colors, I have a black. I have a teal blue on the darker side. I have a dark navy blue. And then I have a lighter blue. I like to do a gradient for the background, but use what you have. We also need white. I have orange, a red, and then I do have a yellow. I would say that this is optional if you want to use it. We'll do this together, but I like to add a little bit of yellow to the red. It's not as, kind of bright as the orange, but then I like to add that for some details in the robin. My goal with you guys is to show you a more painterly effect with this, and you can certainly take as little or as much time as you want. I am an artist. I usually paint with oil paints, so I tend to get pretty painterly, and that's really what I want to share with you guys. As for brushes, I have this big old brush, so I do have a thicker, wider brush. We'll use this for the background. I also have you have a round brush or a flat brush. We'll use this for the bird's body, but you can use whatever you have. And then you'll need a somewhat smaller brush for the feet, the beak, and little parts like that. And then I have paper towel, of course, and I just use a little plastic plate for my amazing palette. You can use whatever you have. The whole thing here is to just have fun, relax, and just get creative. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my transfer. I'm going to take my transfer paper, and I am going to outline my drawing here. Side note, my transfer paper, I am getting really down low on. You can use each piece more than one time. It hardly transfers, so I'm afraid you're not going to be able to really see it, but just do it with yours. So go ahead, pause now, and get your cardinal onto your canvas. Okay, we're going to start with the background, and I'm not going to do a wash over this. And a wash is when you just cover the whole thing, and I would consider it if I took something like this, which is a workable fixative, to my charcoal, because that would keep it from running or disappearing completely. If you have this or even aerosol hairspray and go all over it, you can be a little bit more over the lines. Now, I am going to encourage you to go over the lines a bit, but not enough where you lose your painting. That being said, you can always paint on top of the background. That's what we want. What we don't want to create is this halo effect, like around your cardinal, where it doesn't blend into the background. So we do want the colors to kind of bleed into it, and then we'll paint over it when we actually paint the bird. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use 3 colors, maybe a little bit of black, because I really want to come in. I like this darker kind of edge at the bottom. That being said, I'm very expressive with my brushwork. I like to see the brush strokes. I really like that painterly effect. If you like a very smooth effect, then you'll just really smooth in your colors. I like when you can see the strokes. I like when you know it's paint. So we're going to start with 3 colors. I'm going to start with my lightest blue. I'm going to start with a mid teal. And then I'm going to bring in my navy blue. And this navy blue I got is not as dark as I really want it. So I am going to add a little bit of black to my palette just so I have it. What I also like to do, and you can kind of get a feel for this and where it feels comfortable for you, I do paint with just a little bit of acrylic paint, or my goodness, a little bit of water on my brush, just because I don't want to come in with like this really thick kind of coloring. I kind of want to build up. So let's say I want like the lightest part to be kind of right here, because eventually I really want to create like a light kind of effect here, and we'll use the orange kind of mixed with yellow for that. So let's say here I want it to be my lightest area, and like I said, I like a real painterly effect. If you could see here, like I can still see my lines through here, and that's because I did water it down just a bit with water, and I can see where everything is, but I'm not going over it with the full force of the paint either. This is just the background, and I want it to be super painterly. So you can see here how I'm just going like this or like this. I'm coming in right here is my line for the top of the cardinal, painting over that because I want the cardinal to be part of the scene. I'm leaving a little bit of white show through. Again, I'm not precious right now with anything because this is the background and we're going to be adding on top of it. The beautiful thing is as well is you can come in and adjust it as you like. So as you go, just continue to work. Since you're at home, you can take as much or as little time as you want. So now I kind of have my lightest part in. We'll go here pretty light. And now for a transition, I can always add like a little bit of the lighter color with my darker teal. And so you can kind of play with the colors instead of just one color and then this color, and then transition in. Make sure to get your sides. And you can see here, you can see the brush stroke. Right now it's pretty prevalent because there is nothing else and we just have white canvas. But that really creates texture to me, movement, and life in a painting. It's not just a flat painting where everything is smooth and everything is perfect. And the more texture you create with a brush stroke, the more movement comes into a painting, and the more movement brings more life. So you want to stay painterly. All right, I have this cover now with my slightly lighter color, with my darker, and what I really want to create is kind of that interest in the bottom that kind of brings everything up to, you know, the lightness of the bird. So again, I got a color of blue. It's not really my favorite. It's like this color. See how it kind of like clashes, I feel like, but it's what I got. And we can always paint another one, or because it's acrylic, we can paint over it someday. So what I like about like this darker area, if you can see, is that I really like the break in the brush stroke. And like I said, I am an oil painter. Most of the time I paint a lot of animals, and it is literally the break in the brush. It's that change in the brush stroke that you see that creates movement. It doesn't make this flat piece, like, you know, it's kind of happenstance, and it truly creates, I think, just more of a experience viewing it than here's all one flat thing or a gentle gradient. But you do what you like. That's what art is. I am going to add a little bit of black now. I'd prefer not to, but I am. I'm going to come down here yet again, kind of creating that darkness, because I do want to create some shadows to bring up the eye. And again, I'm just kind of doing, my brush strokes are very kind of patchworky a lot sometimes, and I just accept that. I don't try to change what I'm naturally drawn to. I play with that, and I feel like that's what we're kind of here to do, is find what we like as artists and just really what brings us joy. And a lot of times that brush stroke is part of it. Going just a little bit darker here, and I have some of the black on my brush, and that is not bothering me at all. I can either wipe it off, I can keep it, I can go over it again. I like to paint this while my background is wet, because I can just kind of have fun blending it all together in whatever way I want to. And I'm just going to play with this until I kind of find where I'm going to come in a little bit darker here, where I find where I want all of this to be. You can see I've covered up quite a bit of the tail here. Again, I'm not worried about it. You have your reference photo. We have this one. We also have the tracer you can definitely use as reference to know where that tail would go. I just really want to know right now that I have the background how I want it. And the beautiful thing is that this will create something different each and every time I paint it. And I might learn something a little bit more about what I like or what I don't like about art, the texture, or what I can create. And I like that gray in here. And I'll just lighten it up a little bit. And we are going to let this dry as much as possible. So you can see here I do leave just a lot of brush strokes, a lot of texture. You do what you like, but I like seeing that. I want to add a little bit more texture here. And keep in mind, this is just the background. We're going to put a lot of stuff on top of it that also creates dimension. And I think I'm liking this where it is. And I'm going to let this dry. All right, we're going to come in now with the black we're going to specifically do the black around the eye and beak here, into the breast, and then underneath here a little bit. So right around here, and then we're going to do the branch as well. So here's what I'm going to say. Right around the eye and the beak, just use your straight black. And in the branch, I do like to add a little bit of teal to it, to the black, so it's not just like a flat black. And I don't like to add it all over. It's just in specific areas. So first I'm going to come through and I'm going to paint in the area around the beak. And now the eye, I understand, is black, the area around it is black. So what I like to do for now is leave just the slightest area unpainted around the eye, so I just know placement. And then I will show you a little bit later how we'll kind of make that stand out a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to come in now and get this strong branch in. And like I said, I do like to add, where's my other brush? So we'll use this one. I do like to add a little bit of blues to it. So let me show you kind of how that works. Again, this is whatever you want it to be. So you see here, it's just like a straight black. I like to come in just with a little bit of blue, the teal or whatever you want, and just add just some dimension to it. That way it adds some interest. And maybe there's like little sticks that I didn't put in or whatever. I'll leave a little area there for his foot. And then I just go through and do that. And we'll do this for all of the branches. And nothing about this has to be perfect, because nothing in nature is completely perfect. It's never, you know, completely just one thing. Add a little bit of blue to that, maybe some in here. You can always okay, so just go through and just have fun and add everything where you want it. Add some texture with some other colored paint. You could even use something other than just a teal. You can use the other color blue, whatever just makes sense for you. Randomly add a stick, break up that. You can even come from this side here, whatever you want to do. I also feel like you don't have to stay in the lines. That's what adds interest to this. And I'll show you that kind of as we go. My style of painting kind of lends to a very random thing of direction. So, all right, just have fun adding this and come on back when you're done. Okay, so the next color we're going to come in with is our red, and we're going to come in the whole cardinal and then all of the berries. So wherever you want the berries to be. I also like to randomly add just like little red dots, again, just to add interest. It's not like we're painting, you know, something that is like this realistic painting. This is for us to be happy and just to have a good time painting it. So you may have to really use your imagination just a little bit here. So know that, you know, your wing comes here. I definitely painted over it, If this is dry, it should be an easy paint over. Depending on the time or the kind of paint you have, you might have to go over it a few times. I found that red is surprisingly transparent, specifically the kind of paint I got for this project. I wanted to use just a craft type of paint because this is for you guys to practice with, and it doesn't have to be crazy expensive paint. If you want to do like something, or at least start practicing professional level of painting, and this is just kind of your intro to painting type stuff, there is no harm in, you know, learning with paint that is slightly less expensive before you go to something like Liquitex, which is my favorite professional style or professional brand of acrylic paint. So that's, you know, you're learning, and or you already know, and you know, you just prefer, you know, craft acrylic paint or whatever. The biggest thing is I really just want you to have fun, and if you can paint with this, you can start to paint with whatever you would like. Again, you are watching me paint kind of my style more than anything. I really like the broken lines. So you can see here where I just, like, you know, obviously the wing doesn't go out this far, but do I like to add like a little bit? Yeah, I love it. So just do what you want. So you can see here how transparent this red is. You can see the blue showing through. Again, it just doesn't bother me, because to me, now I want to go over this a few times, but I like that dimension to it. It's kind of like you just get to use what you have and just make it work for you. So there's no like wrong or rhyme or reason. It doesn't have to be perfect. For me, I like that difference of the paint each time. Each time is something new and different and something amazing. So I'll let him dry and add some berries around here. Again, with the berries, you may have to come through and add another layer. We are going to kind of go through and just add some shading to them as well. But for now, I'm going to add our berries in. You can make them different sizes. There's nothing perfect about these berries. Some of them aren't even perfect circles for me, where the lines still show from the, you know, just paint them wherever you want them. I think I added quite a few berries, but you can just do what you want. And I'm not going to let the cardinal dry 100% here. What we're going to do is add the shadows. So specifically behind the wing, the tail, and then his belly, and then going up there on his actual jawline. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to take this blue and this red. So when it comes to shading, you can always use colors, like instead of just a black to shade or a white to tint. And notice we haven't used any white so far, and it's actually fun to try not to use white or not to use black, but use alternative colors. You can actually add a little bit of the teal It'll kind of make it a little bit more purpley. I think I want a little bit more red. So don't be afraid to experiment with color mixing, because that will literally be everything. So wherever that, oops, I think I missed it a little bit. That's all right, we'll adjust. And then I just come under here, add some to the tail. And where I want some like really, and then that belly, shading is everything. I can't even tell you, shading and highlights is what really sets a painting apart from just being like a normal color in painting. So I want that belly to be nice and round, so I'm just gonna come in here, give it a nice round belly. The beautiful thing is I can take my red and blend in as much as I want. But already just a little bit of shading gives it that dimension. Here, that neck area would carry back up through because he has that neck, some shading up through here, specifically around that eye, just to really give like the feathers kind of a pop. I think I'm gonna take that wing down just a little bit. And this is acrylic paint, so you really can't mess up. Just like go back through, paint over it, do whatever you want to do. It's literally the beauty of painting. You don't have to be so precious with anything because it's paint. You can paint over it. If you look at it as just fun to be had, you can paint over all of this. I keep making him fatter and fatter, but I do like a good tubby bird, so that's okay with me. So same thing for the berries. I want to come underneath the berry. I want to go ahead and add some shading to that. These are like so wet, which I like because then it kind of blends in nicer. And I'm not even being exact with these. Like I said, I like that nice thick painty line there, so I don't mind it at all. I am realizing my shadow's probably on the wrong side, but that's okay too. Need a little bit more, just mix more together. If you hold it, your canvas there, and just kind of go through wherever you want, add a little bit of shadow. And to me, it's that, you know, a little bit of haphazardness that gives it life and gives it all kinds of good stuff. Okay, this is cold wax medium. So what it is literally cold wax. It is very pliable. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a small bit and I'm going to mix it with white paint. And it's very fun. It dries fast. You can use this with oil paint or acrylic paint. You can actually use it on top of your painting if you put it on the whole thing and let it dry, almost like a thicker varnish. But I'm going to use it to add some dimension. So here and here and here in this one, you probably can't see on camera, but when you're looking at it, like there's texture. So I'm just going to add it here if I can like not get it in my blue paint. I'm going to mix it in. You want like kind of a 50-50 ratio, but you still want it to look pretty thick. So then you're definitely going to need some kind of knife. You could even use a butter knife if you had one, or didn't have like a palette knife. So I'm just going to take it here and I'm going to like go on top of like different areas that I really want some texture. And this is where too you can kind of come down like this and really add some interest to the painting. Paintings don't have to be just like, whoops, that totally went on my table, flat, and you can just, you know, do whatever you want. I like just to kind of have fun with it and see what I can do. Okay. The most important thing is signing this painting. So you can get whatever your smallest brush is and you can sign it wherever. You can do something fun and sign it below the branch, do it on the tail. I always tend to sign here in the corner. I think that's because, like, you know, that's where it's always been. And I'm just going to do my initials for this. So all my art, it's not going to show, of course. All my art, I go by Laura Elizabeth. So just do L-E. Okay, I have one more bonus thing to show you guys. We're going to use this one because it's dry. All right, I switched over to the one I did while I was sitting down, which makes it a lot easier just saying. This is all completely dry. It has the cold wax on it. It has all kinds of good stuff. But what I want to show you guys, again, optional, it's just fun, especially because it's like kind of like this, you know, wintry, glistening scene. We're going to varnish. So I have Gambar gloss varnish. This is for acrylic or oil paints. That's why I get it, because like I said, I mostly painted oils, but it's great. Also a face painter, just side note. So I have glitter. This is actually face glitter because I literally don't have any craft glitter in the house, but it's going to work. What I'm going to do is I'm going to varnish my painting, but I'm going to put some glitter in it. So if you have craft glitter, that would probably be just a little bit better. But I'm using my face paint glitter because that's what I have. So I'm just going to put a little bit of my sparkly glitter in there, and then I'm going to pour just a bit of my varnish in here, and then you know what we're going to do, varnish with glitter. You don't need a lot. Alrighty, so we're going to get this down here. And I'm just going to varnish the top. Sorry guys, that'll totally... Alright, so hopefully you have a super fun winter cardinal scene to hang or give as a gift or do whatever you want with it. But hope you had fun. Thank you so much for joining me. I have a lot more to come. And if you have yours painted and you post it, oh my god, post it on social media, please tag me. I would super love to see it. But truly hope you enjoyed yourself. Much love to you all, and go paint. Bye.